Welcome to the Let's Talk with Paula show, where we talk about hot topics and issues, and sometimes we have people that sing and dance, write books. Tom got me one time when I had the lady that was writing a book, and he caught me, and I saw it in the boo-hoo. Me and the lady started crying together. Okay.
Oh my God.
And I mean, it was just so heartfelt, her book and what the topic that we were talking about at that particular time. And I just really couldn't hold it back because it touched kind of home. But anyway, before I go here, introduce yourselves.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sierra Eggleston, a veteran community advocate, as well as an activist and business owner. Yes.
Okay.
So actually, I do have a event coming up on the 29th of September. I'll be selling some gourmet treats, which include like popcorn, cupcakes, and different dessert parfaits.
Okay.
So I'll send you the flyer. So next time that we're on here, you can just put it up for people. But it'll be in Mount Rainier.
Okay. And about how long ago? So we have a know.
September 29th. I could just send it to you, but.
But see, you should have. You told me, okay, I'm good. Okay, and that would have been on this show because this shows next week.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
that would have been perfect.
So it just does show next week. You won't be able to have the flyer on, right. But you need to tell us when though.
Okay, so it's called Plants and People Palooza. It's at the New Brooklyn Farms, which is 3513 Rhode Island Avenue in Mount Rainier, Maryland. So come out from 12 to 4. There'll be different vendors, and there'll be like different plant competitions as well. So it's real it's like a little get together with people that like grow plants and stuff like that. And they'll have other food vendors and different activities going on as well, like music. Mm-hmm. So it'll be fun.
Oh, okay.
It's my first time doing a pop-up too. So.
Oh, okay. So you are going to have your own stand?
Yes.
Okay. And what's the name of the stand so they can look out for your stand?
Simo Poppin' Gourmet Treats.
Okay. And it's like, okay, did you need some help?
Oh,
we don't have to answer.
Okay. The more the merrier.
No, you ain't going to answer on that. But okay, we'll talk about it, okay?
Okay.
But yeah, that sounds like, girl, I'd probably go over there and buy the gourmet treats. That'd be terrible because I know I don't have no business, but it sounds like my kind of thing. You said popcorn and what else?
Popcorn, cupcakes, and like different type of banana pudding.
Oh, yeah. All those things right there. That I ain't got no business, but I love them all. Yes. I went into the other day. I did finally go out to the house and sit finally because my body was saying you need to eat some real food. Okay, so I went to this particular place that's over right there. I can't ever think of it right off the top of my head, but it's not too far from my home.
Okay.
And I had already paid for the stuff, and guess what they had in the case for dessert? Banana pudding.
Oh,
but I had already paid, and I said, okay, Lord, you didn't want me to see this ahead of time, okay, because I would have bought something, right?
Right.
So, yes, please go out and support because she does a lot of community event, activities, and like she said, it's her first pop-up, and we want to make it a success for her.
Yeah.
And you will see this next week, okay? And so I wish we had said it on the other 2 shows as well, because you would have had all 3 shows and would have been talking about your activity. Okay. Because we promote everybody else, I mean, it's not by right. That should have been at the top of your head, okay?
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, when you said let's talk with Paula, I was like, well, let me talk to Paula about about what I got going on next week.
I love it. But Lady Nighthawk does the same thing, and I got so wrapped up in the church show with those topics.
Yeah, the church show we wasn't going to get to it.
Now that you said it when you were introduced, okay?
Right.
So next time I'm going to have to remind you, because I asked you, you gave me 2 topics, and we talked about one of them on the church show.
Yes.
Because that was on the top of my head, because I knew that was your topic. And then the other one we did not talk about on either show, so this was new. This is a brand new topic for this show. And what was that topic that you wanted to talk about?
It was about the racketeering and sex trafficking case that Diddy's got going on. Yeah, so we wanted to
Allegedly.
so we wanted to get into that because the case isn't finalized and stuff like that. They haven't talked about too much in court. But how do you feel about celebrities like being on, like that's at a high standard, being put on a different platform? Like, do you think that should affect their music and us listening to it, or is that something with their character? Like,
So you asked an old lady to answer that question.
yeah, because he back in the day.
I know. I know. Okay. You were listening to his music before you even knew about that, and it's not something allegedly that just started, okay? And then he had some other high-profile people that allegedly are supposed to be involved in this, okay? And in this country, in democracy, it says that you're innocent until proven guilty.
Right.
And so he has not been proven guilty, unlike somebody else that has been
Yes.
proven guilty and is running for public office, okay? All right, so.
I thought you were talking about the other singer that was proven guilty.
No, I ain't talking about the other singer. I'm talking about the one that's running for office.
Oh,
that
yes.
he actually has been convicted
Of multiple felony charges.
of multiple
You're right.
felons, and he's able to run for president. Whereas
First
this-
I've ever heard.
First time anybody ever heard. In fact, Rachel Maddow said last night that was the first time in history that she has ever, and she's a historian, that she's ever seen anything that's going on like it's going on in this election. Please watch Stephen Colbert's show that he had on last night at 9:18 at 11:30. Google her, okay? Because she has a book out, and it's the factual information that she was given to us, because she has to be factual. It's really, really important that you Google her and ask her about the election that's coming up. You can Google her opinion about what the election coming up to be for the president of the United States. And then you can also ask her about what does she think about the assassination attempt that happened, historically wise. So go out there and Google her, or Google his show, and it's very factual. So like I said, so I'm not going to say we can't have double standards in this country, that when it's a minority, not just talking about Diddy, I don't care how gross or how bad it is, we
Right.
cannot convict him of a crime that he has not been convicted by a group of his peers. He has not been found guilty. They're still investigating. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm not going to tell anybody to stop listening to his music. That's up to you. That's an individual right that you have so far as democracy is concerned. You have your own mind to do what you think is right. And I think that's what she said last night. We have to learn how to follow our conscience.
Right, because it's, the way this society is set up now, they have like this thing called the cancel culture, which they start canceling out artists if they do something or stop listening to them and stuff. But I feel like if you have your own mind, like she said, then you shouldn't worry about being canceled or the cancel culture or how that affects you as a artist. Now, like as a person, it might affect you because people might cancel out your character, like what you've done in the past. They might affect you now. Type for
Well, that's for that person, but that's not for you. If I'm listening to your music, now I'm not, that's anybody's music. I mean, I can't just say his music, okay, but anybody's music, sometimes it can be damaging, okay? I talked about shooting and killing and raping and robbing. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, I'm not going to condone that, no. But I'm talking about music. Music, they had, I watched too much TV when I was in this hotel. They had a survey out, and this was just on the news. I know it was on Stephen Colbert again. I think it was the night before. And the scientists said that what they found that for anxiety and people that are suffering from, Alzheimer's and depression, that they found that music, good thing that you said
it's
that.
good therapy.
That music is good therapy, and it actually makes a lot of the endorphins, not any drugs, but the endorphins in your own body. Music will actually give you that same, whatever that is that you're looking for, that makes a good feeling. That music is a good therapy. So it depends on the music. You understand what I'm saying? You're not trying to get the endorphins in your body to get a rise out of going out here shooting, killing, robbing, smoking dope. No.
Right.
You know. But if we're talking about anxiety, we're talking about, you know, different kinds of things, different kinds of music does different kinds of things. Just like he said, there's music when you go out there, if you're sitting down and you're feeling real bad and you turn that music on that you like, then all of a sudden you go to a whole different place.
Exactly.
You know, and it makes you feel so good inside. And that's because the endorphins in your body are making you, you know, feel what the person that's singing is trying to make you feel.
Just like if you're sad and you listen to some sad music, it's gonna make you feel even sadder.
Yes.
Because you listening and taking in all the words that the artist is saying in the song.
Yes. So basically, music is a help, but you have to be careful about what you're listening to.
Right.
I've always said that. Okay.
That is true.
So you got to be careful about what you listen to, what you're exposing your children to, because sometimes you have your children in your car and you listen to these music and this.
Right. They got cursing.
7, 8, they got cursing and everything in there.
Now you wonder why they cursing in the back.
Right.
Or talking about gang activity. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Why they wondering why they talking about the stuff? Because what they're listening to.
Right.
They're being a product of their environment.
Right. And then you mad when little Johnny come home and say to you, you know, kiss my whatever, you know, and you say, what? Not that. Where you get that from?
And then you wonder why they asking for guns for Christmas.
Oh yeah.
It's
Yeah.
because they heard it in the rap song.
Right.
Or
the
they
video.
seen you, or they seen you playing with your gun.
Yes. Or in a video.
Yeah.
And we can't do nothing about television. Okay. Because they are censored enough. Okay. We are supposed to be able to have a freedom of speech, but not coming out my little kid's mouth. Okay. He don't have no freedom yet. Okay. That's the thing. You know, parents need to parent. That was the other thing. Somebody's show I was watching saying that we have to be parenting skills, and if you need to get some help, there is help out there. That they do have places that you can go to, if you feel like that you need some help with the anxiety or you know or whatever it is that you're going through, and your child is acting out. But why is your child acting out? You know, do you sit down and talk to them and find out why they're acting out?
Right.
Do you find out, you know, with your children why they're depressed? Or all of a sudden that this child that used to be happy-go-lucky, this thing has really been bothering me because this is the third show I've talked about it on. You know, because the youth, you guys are our future, okay?
Right.
And that's why it's so important for people to see you talking about the election, see you talking about Diddy, see you talking about certain things, because then they say, oh yeah, she just old. You know what I mean? No, you're a young person. So they need to hear from you. And that's why it's so important. And I thank you so much when you come on because you bring so much to this show, okay?
Thank you.
And so, you know, and I know what you do out there as a community activist. I know what you do, the awards and things that you have gotten. I know what you do, you know, with your own business. I know what you do and what you can do and how you can do it. And just recently went back into school just to take up another class. Now you really sound like my daughter because I've been in school forever, okay? So it's very important that we pay attention to what our children are going through. The government did try to help by making these phones now, banning, you know, social media. Mm-hmm. And on your computers, you know, social media, you know, you can get an app to put on your computer so your children won't be harassed or bullied or have a, you know.
Oh, it's a monitoring app for that?
Yes,
okay.
It's a monitoring app too. I don't know what the name of it is, but they have one of those as well. Because it was a lot of children that were out here, or young folk, that were out here that were actually going into deep depressions and stuff like that, and wanted to commit suicide. Suicide rate went up, you know, and a whole lot of things is because of a lot of the bullying that was going on, you know, and it's terrible, and it's not just with children, it's with adults, because adults say some vicious and mean things as well.
Exactly.
They need to have one just video.
They're probably worse than the kids.
Yeah, and so they need to have one for the adults that are going around and do the same thing. You know what I mean? Because they don't know the harm that they cause to somebody else. And I meant to say this, McDonald was with me on 2 weeks ago. He'll be back next week. I was going to save it for him, but I do want to say it now since I'm talking about depression and anxiety, you know. And that you need to do a check-in. Like I said, with the emojis, they make them, you know, they even made some more that you can use.
Every update you get new emojis. So,
so you can always if you don't want to talk, just do an emoji, okay? I don't have any profit in the emoji business, okay? I just want to say that too, okay? But it is that, you know, you can go to, we need to go back to church. And this not the church show, but God wants us to fellowship. And he wants us to be around people, you know. That
have fellowship as well.
Yes. COVID turned it so that
everything had to be virtual.
Yes.
But I've been going to church more in person now. Because I couldn't get with the virtual for real. Like, it was hard for me to find a church home like that way.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to go to Zion. I've been going to Zion more so every Sunday. So
And I
like
don't have
church.
profit.
I don't have no profit in them.
Okay.
I don't have no business in them. But I'm just saying that's one of the church homes that I've took interest into recently.
And I think that is great because we need to be around other believers, okay? And this time, no more than ever. And you're not going to get. You can get something off the television if it's what's going on, like the music, right? Maybe what's going on, they're talking about it that night.
You're around other believers.
Absolutely,
as well.
because you can feel the spirit when you walk into the building, okay? And that's what he wants us to do, to feel the Holy Spirit when we walk into the building. When you get a rise from the music that's there that they're singing, you know what I mean?
It's different when you in person, feeling the music versus hearing it on the computer or your TV screen.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I think that it's most important that COVID, the adversary had a plan, and there's a lot of people.
The devil was working.
You know, I don't have to roll out the bed. I'm still going to church. I'm watching on television. Nope, there's a difference. Okay.
It is.
Yes, you are still hearing the word, but you also need to go and fellowship or find a new church home. Maybe the person where you were. And I know this is not the church show, but this is Let's Talk with Paula, right?
It is.
So maybe it is, you know, that you need to go find another church home. That maybe the one that you were going to prior to COVID didn't work for you. But you know, but there are churches that are
in
open.
person now.
What is so sad is that a realtor told me a year ago during COVID that when the country opened back up, and let's say 6 months later, that there was so many churches that got shut down because people didn't want to come back, and they weren't sure, you know, whether or not they were going to get sick or not. So it was more real estate that you had in churches in D.C. than you had anywhere else.
You should have got you a bigger church.
Yeah, and so. It's important for us to go back and fellowship and start worshiping and, you know, fill these houses up, you know, because this is, and before election time, okay, we need to go in the house of prayer and pray. Lord, as a group collectively, we need to pray to make sure that the right person is put in the White House, oh Heavenly Father. We need to ask you, and all of us agree that sitting in this room, that and across the television screen, that we agree that we're going to have the right person to keep our democracy in the White House. And we have to ask the Lord. The Lord said, ask,
and you shall receive.
And you shall receive, you know. If you touch and agree, if any two of us touch and agree on any one thing on earth, he would loose it out into heaven, okay? So there are things that we can do. That's the reason for fellowship, because we can hear, we can worship together, we can feel, you know. And then you can pay attention to what's going on with somebody else that's with you, you know, that you see at church only on Sundays, right? Or at a special event. Like your bakery thing should be a good thing at the church, okay, one Sunday, right? Think about that, because they do bakeries all they bake goods and stuff all the time at church.
They be having cookouts and everything.
That's right. So you need to tap into that source God gave you, okay?
Yes.
But like when I was young, a young minister, and I was going to this particular church, there was this lady that used to come to church. I was going to save it for Donald's show, but I'll repeat it again. It's why it's so important for us to fellowship and to reach out. If you haven't talked to your mother, your grandmother, or your sister, brother, your father, whatever, in a long time, reach out. Now, you just send them a text or send them an emoji. You know, if they don't want to talk to you and y'all not talking, you reach out, you know. But, you know, we need to reach out to each other. This day and time is so much anxiety that's going on. There's so many people that are depressed, and they sit in these houses by themselves because they think that nobody cares about them, you know. And if just a conversation, one phone call, you know, you don't know, they probably sitting in another over where they are and trying to figure out, well, why I haven't heard from so-and-so, and so-and-so trying to figure out why I haven't heard from so-and-so.
So you just got to reach out.
Yes. And so, and an emoji makes it, I mean, I love you, hey, you know, whatever, you know, smile, heart, love, whatever, prayer, right? Thank you, I love you, you know. But it was a lady that was going to church every Sunday. You would have never known that anything was going on. It was a beautiful woman. I was a young minister, beautiful, beautiful spirit. And she dressed very well. And, you know, she helped at everything that was going on at the church. And then all of a sudden, a few Sundays, she was missing. And, you know, the people in the church talked about it, but nobody actually reached out to see what was going on. And I don't want to cry, so don't let me cry, okay?
Okay.
Come to find out, when they finally reached out, that the woman had been depressed. They got in touch with one of her relatives, and she had been depressed, and she hung herself. And
Wow.
it took almost 3 weeks for us to figure out what was going on, because the sister
She had
didn't
no
know.
family members.
The sister didn't know what church she was going to and who to reach out to. You know,
to inform them what happened.
to inform them what happened. And so, you know, then the thing is a stigma about people committing themselves, so they don't commit suicide. So, you know, your family might feel embarrassed because somebody, it's not nothing to be embarrassed about, because that's not your fault. That you did not make that person do or feel the way they did. But how we can stop it, suicide, that they got suicide prevention hotlines, they got drug addiction hotlines, we have them at the end of our show on the credits. We have veterans mental health hotline, and anybody can use that number, and we have a mental health helpline. Use those numbers if you feel depressed, because those people, they don't get paid, they don't have a paid, that's not why they're there. They're there so that they can answer the phone for you and I or whomever and help you get through whatever it is that you're going through, so that you do not feel like that you're alone. They do it from the bottom of their hearts, and they've been trained to be able to assist you, okay? They have to get certifications, you know, they have to get, you know, licenses and things like that. So, but they do that on their own dime, as y'all call it, okay? So that they can help. And those people are always looking out for people to come and help on those hotlines, okay? Because if they had them then this lady, maybe she would still be alive today. But at that time, they didn't have those kind of things that you could reach out to.
Back,
no. And so, you know, you depended on your preachers and your peers and your family members, you know. Yeah. But now they have it so that you can reach out and touch somebody. And I'm just telling you, you know, then they're making it easy, you know, with social media, with the emojis. If you don't want to talk, tap. Okay.
Yes, they do have that now.
You know, so I'm just saying it's so important, because this election year has depressed everybody. Okay, we've been going through this for almost 4 years now.
Right, because we thought we was going to have one presidential candidate running, then that didn't happen. So now we got a black female running, which is good, because that's something we never seen before.
And we never seen.
I don't know if they're ready for a female in office.
Well,
but
I don't think that it should be by race, or I don't think it should be by
gender. It shouldn't.
Gender. It should be by the issues that are at hand, and it's our democracy. And our democracy is more important than whether I'm a man wearing a pair of pants or a woman wearing a dress.
But you know, some men can't take no instructions from a female. That's the only thing I'm talking about for real. But I feel like she's a great candidate, especially compared to her opponent. So,
and the college that she came from is a top #1 HUB in the country. Okay, so historically black college, #1. Okay, that she came from. Okay, and she did a good job. The debate that she just did, you know, I can't talk about the debate, but I'm just saying, you know, the news people. Said that
the news people, nobody was on her opponent's side. They was all on her side.
Yeah, they said that it was a great thing that happened.
That's why he don't even want to do another debate with her.
Right, but at first he was saying that because she said no, that she was scared, and then after she said okay, now all of a sudden he doesn't want to do it. Okay, and so now
trying to play mind games.
Yeah, and that's what the guy that was on. This was on Night Before Last, was Stephen Colbert. The guy that was on there told you about the person. He has a book out about the person that he was apprenticed with, and the apprenticeship that he went under. Talking about this candidate running, and he was actually brainwashed, and technically, into doing the things that non-feeling, you know, obnoxiousness and stuff, because this attorney, it's a movie that's out, in fact, that about The Apprentice. I don't have any stock in it, okay, but it's not the Apprentice that you know for, but it's about this attorney and this person. And it just came out, and it's called The Apprentice, and it's either on Netflix or one of those shows, I'm not sure.
Isn't this an old show?
It's brand new. It just came out.
Oh.
No, it's not a show about people coming in and trying to see if you can sell their product. It's a movie about Donald Trump being the apprentice to this attorney. So it's about the attorney and where he learned how to be the person that he is
today.
That's what the person he is today, and it's called The Apprentice. So don't get it wrong. It's not about him selling product. It's about him and the person that he idolized, that he emulates, that taught him to be the person that he is. And that's what this movie is. And I don't have any stock in it, but I'm just saying it's very. I would take a look at it.
You seen it already?
No, I have not, because it was just coming out this week. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And so I would take a look at it and see. I am going to look at it and see, you know, what it's about, because it's interesting. And I don't understand why his sister waited until after the election. If y'all recall, this is not coming out of my mouth. This came out of her mouth. They asked her. She said that she was surprised to see the American people, that she didn't think that we were that dumb. She said on one of the talk shows that we would elect her as American people as our president of the United States. She said, so they said, well, why are you coming out with this book now and do all talk? She said, because I was totally appalled to see that we were just that dumb, that the American people were just that dumb to fall for that foolishness, and they voted for him. So she in her book, and this is an old book his sister wrote when he was president the last time.
Oh, wow.
She wrote this book after his election, and she basically bust us all out, okay? And then she had news, you know, she went around on the circuit and was talking about the book and stuff and telling you the truth and different things about him that she would know to be true, okay?
Oh, I'm surprised he didn't pay her off, because that's what he's famous for doing.
No, because they didn't get along. Okay, so that's what I said. When they asked her, was she doing it as a vindictive measure? She said, nope. She said, I just didn't believe that y'all were going to do that. Okay, so I just felt that it was time for me to put it in writing so that y'all could see all the lies that they were telling. I'm going to tell you which ones are lies and which ones are truth. And basically, that's what she did. So that book came out in the first 4 years when he ran, okay? And I think his sister's name, I'm not sure, but I think her first name was Mary, okay? But just look up his sister in the book that she wrote, and you know, you can find it for yourself. Google it. I always tell you, look for yourself. Don't take my word, okay? Go back and look for yourself. Don't say I said. I ain't say nothing. I'm telling you to go look it up, okay? Because we need to be more careful about what we say to people and how we treat each other.
Yes.
You know, God is love, and if we love God, we should love each other, okay? This killing has to stop. These attempted killings, whatever they are, it needs to stop. The viciousness that goes out on the internet, it needs to stop, okay? From anybody. I'm not just talking about no one person. I'm talking about everybody. The killing in this country has to stop, okay? From little kids all the way up to adults, okay? I don't care who you are. The killing, the abusiveness that we talk to each other. I saw in there, okay, I'm getting ready to close out, but I just want to say that somebody cussed somebody out because they were speaking to them in Spanish. That's crazy, okay?
My God.
Stop. It was in the news. Stop. So with that on that, we're going to say what?
Have a great night.
And
Thank you for joining us on Let's Talk with Paula.
Okay.